Welcome to training for the PVS's video version for the 2014 tax season. And what we're going to do is combine the training that's on the ShareNet with a live demonstration of using the portal. So let's begin by taking a look at the process flow diagram for how the recruitment system works. First, the prospect needs to submit their application online, and that's so that we can get demographic data as well as multicultural information that we wouldn't otherwise have available, and some information about the prospect's experience at work and as a volunteer. This also allows us to confirm that the folks who are interested in joining us have at least some minimal computer capability. And what happens after they complete their application is that they get an immediate acknowledgement, and the application gets stored in our recruitment system database, which is part of VMIS, and PVS becomes aware through an email that somebody has an interest in joining us. The PVS typically would interview the person over the phone and make a decision about what district they would most be able to serve in, and they then, the PVS that is, assigns the prospect to a new DC who immediately gets an email. In the cases where the PVS simply begins by routing to the DC has the initial interview. But in any event, the DC has a discussion with the prospect and decides whether they're going to be somebody that we can work with. If they know right away that it's not going to be a match, or the person really isn't available for the next tax season, then they can set a status, and we'll take a look at that in just a minute. Once the DC makes their evaluation, if they approve the person for training, that needs to be noted, and we'll show you how to do it. And then once they complete training successfully, the DC sets the status to certified and notifies the ADS of the person's new supervisor and their title in our program. That has to be a separate email at this point. Once the ADS certifies the new volunteer, they respond with an email to the DC telling the DC the new volunteer's ID number. So let's take a look at the portal and see how that goes. I've already signed on to the portal. I'm going to click the Recruitment tab and then take a look at Review Prospective Volunteer, because that's what we've been talking about, is running it through the process. And I'll open this up so that we can get a better view of the form. And this is a fictitious person in a fictitious state with a fictitious DC that they're assigned to. When we start, everything that could possibly have a status that changes is shown. But let's take a look first at those people who are routed to the DC, which you can do by filtering, select topic and then filter. And now we see the people who are assigned to this particular DC, who is shown someplace here, and I guess it's at the top. It's GA6 PVC. Oh, that's me, Stan. I'm acting as the volunteer coordinator. Well, in any event, let's take a look. Here's a Test Miho record, and let's see what Test Miho has told us. She's told us where she lives, her phone number, her email address, and those are pretty much the required items that have to be put in. Beyond that, information is optional. We'll probably see in this application there's not a whole lot of additional information that's been provided. She didn't give us her age to start with. But she did say she learned about volunteering through another volunteer. And as you go through this, you see various pieces of information that could be provided, and for the most part they are. This is assigned right now to DC Paul, and so if DC Paul would like to change the status, they can click yes, and then say that they've been approved for training, and so we'll change the status to approved. At any point when the DC first looks at a record and is simply evaluating a record, it's a help to change the status, because then the SC and the PVS knows that the DC is acting on the application. And you can see there are several status values beyond evaluating. Approved means approved for training, and so if you're ordering training materials, you can use that list to know who the people are that should get them. If they're certified to be a volunteer, and this means in any position, then that can be checked, and the volunteer prospect can be converted into a real volunteer by the ADS. There are some situations where the person is not a match. They're only interested in working nights. We don't have any sites that are open nights in that area, so they're a no match. They may not have any interest in using a computer, yet they want to prepare taxes. Well, we do all our taxes using TaxWise, so that's no match. Some people are inquiring now, but they're really going to be retiring in a year or so, and they're going to be on hold. Unqualified is a category. It's not going to be used very much, and those are the people who just have ethical problems, can't pass our ethics test, and they're unqualified. If they refuse to sign our volunteer agreement, they're unqualified. And that's a status that probably should be set at the state level. It's, as I say, it's really seldom to be used. So those are changes that are available. This is the system. And let's take a break and see how this sounds.